Hi, welcome to Song Online. Dave here, and I'm going to be talking about how to practice. Most people think that practicing means that you take out your instrument and just play through whatever song or piece you want to learn. There are hard parts that you struggle through, but eventually you make it to the end. Practicing, though, is not just a series of run-throughs, it's an analysis of what is easy, what is difficult, and why. Let's say you have to participate in a triathlon. That's an event consisting of running, swimming, and biking. Now let's say you're really good at biking, but you're not a very strong swimmer. Do you get out every day and go running, swimming, and biking? No, you go swimming until you're as good at swimming as you are the other two. It's still important to be able to string them all together, but there's other work that needs to be done first. Learning a piece of music is just like participating in an event like this. There are going to be parts of the piece that are easier and parts that are more difficult, and just like the triathlete that gets out and works on their swimming, you have to find the parts that are a little bit harder and you work on those until they become not so hard. Now, how do we make parts of music less difficult? How do you make anything less difficult? Repetition. Try saying this sentence. A skunk sat on a stump and thunked the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. Bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? So what happens when we first try to say it? You probably slow down at one point, don't you? What point is that? Do you go then back to the beginning and start all over again? Or do you go back to the point where you slowed down? Just try that part. This is a perfect example of how you should practice music. Not only is repetition important, but so is slowing down. A skunk sat on a stump and thunked the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. 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 Isolate and repeat and repeat and repeat. Sometimes what I like to do is start from the end and work backwards. What do I mean by this? I don't mean try to say the sentence backwards, but maybe you start with the last word and you add a word until you get to the beginning. I'll show you what I mean. Try this. Repeat after me. Stunk. Skunk stunk. The skunk stunk. Thunk, the skunk stunk. Stump, thunk, the skunk stunk. The stump thunk, the skunk stunk. But the stump thunk, the skunk stunk. Stunk, but the stump thunk, the skunk stunk. Stump stunk, but the stump thunk, the skunk stunk. The stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. Thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. And thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. Stump and thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. On a stump and thunk the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. And finally, a skunk sat on a stump and thunked the stump stunk, but the stump thunked the skunk stunk. Starts off easy and just gets more complicated bit by bit. It also helps with memory, as repeating anything does. You probably have it memorized already. Try reciting it without looking. You can of course do the same thing forwards. Just start with a word and add one or two each time. Great thing about this type of practice is it works with anything. It doesn't matter whether you sing or play an instrument or if you're practicing a speech. Practice is universal, and if you get good at practicing, you can get good at anything. The only other thing you need is patience. Learning anything takes time and dedication. The most important thing is to not be so hard on yourself and trust that you will reach your goal in time as long as you keep at it. You're not going to transform overnight, but if you keep practicing, you will look back and see how far you've come. It's like the old saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell to turn the notifications on.